Welcome everyone to another episode of Follow the Light Music Review. This episode is going to be episode 1 of a new series called Current Spins. Okay, in this particular video series, I'm going to be going over what I'm currently listening to. So it may not be something that's currently released in the current year. This is something from any year, any decade. This is just what I'm currently listening to for the week. Normally what I do is I have a particular CD that I choose to take into my car, and I'll be listening to it over and over in my car. And then when I'm home, I might say, okay, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to really soak in this episode, and I'm going to listen to it on my stereo system. So the system I'm listening to at home, if anyone's curious about that, is I have a separate component system that I've had for years. Very good quality. Got it back all the way in the 80s, part of it, and 90s. I have a Sony receiver that I've had for decades that has served me very well. And I have two Mach 2, realistic Mach 2 speakers that are top of the line, which I got I think in the early 90s, and they've served me well. I did have some damage to the speakers, which was fixed by a local music store that does repairs. So that's what I'm listening to. They have really high quality sound. And then I have a CD player, a JVC CD player, and my turntable is a Technics. So when I'm listening to vinyl, it's a Technics. And I also own a Sony 5-disc SACD player as well. It plays the SACD CDs that are only SACD, and the ones that are hybrid that you can play on a regular and a SACD. So this is what I'm listening to my music on. I'm just telling you this up front in this first episode. So I'm listening rather on that stereo system. And then in my car, fortunately, I have a 2013 Honda Ridgeline, which has a CD player on it, which I know in the later cars they pulled it out because they just assumed everybody is into streaming. I'm not into streaming. I do listen to some stuff streaming online through Bandcamp and through YouTube, but in general, I like a physical product. So thankfully, my truck has a CD player, and it's a very good one, and that's what I listen to for the whole week. I pick a particular CD to listen to for the week, and I listen to it every single day as I'm going back and forth to work or I'm driving other places. So all that to say that this first episode of Current Spins is going to be focusing on a title that came out a few years ago, not that long ago, but this is going to be the one I'm spotlighting today. This is Seventh Servant, The Tree of Life. And I have to thank Kent over at Area 312 Rock and Metal Vodcast for bringing this album up again to me. He had sent me a message what I thought about this album, and I had it and had gotten it some time ago, and this one has come out on Rox Records, and I only listened to it once or twice, and then I kind of filed it away and forgot about it until he mentioned it. And so I said, let me pull this out and let me give it another listen and see what I think. And so this has been my current spin for the week. I've been listening to Seventh Servant in my car all week long, and I just listened to the whole thing again today on my stereo system here. And unlike the album reviews, I'm not going to be going over track by track, but I'm going to give you my overall impressions and give you some things about the band and some of my observations here. So let's look at this. We have this beautiful cover here. I know there's a little bit of glare there, but this is a wonderful cover, and this is not an AI album cover. Unfortunately, that has become it's been happening a lot lately with a lot of bands using AI, very easy to use. However, to me, it's like AI music. To me, I don't consider it real. Music should be made by musicians and people who play their instruments and sing, not something that's just someone dialed some buttons into a computer and created this AI music. So that's, I think, a bad use of AI. And also for album covers, yes, it could be used for maybe certain elements in here, but I think when I think of the album covers I grew up with, think of the Yes albums and those great Roger Dean illustrations on one. That's what I feel should be the standard. So this is not an AI cover. This is commissioned by an artist and drawn, and it's a beautiful cover. Goes along with the theme of the album, The Tree of Life. Okay, so if you're not familiar with Seventh Servant, this is a band that features John Greeley on lead vocals, and he's also written every song on here except the final instrumental one. John Greeley, you might know the name. He was a member of the band Iced Earth, very popular metal band. He was with them from 1991 to 1993, and he was their vocalist for their album Night of the Storm Rider that came out in 1991. So he is the one who's the mastermind behind this. And what is this? This is a unique album. This is an album that takes the book of Revelation and puts it to music. Not an easy task by any measure. And that's what this is. This is basically following the chapters, the letters to the churches in the book of Revelation and putting it to music. And it is an epic metal album, some prog elements in there as well. And we're going to go over a couple songs on here that I'm going to mention here, but I'll just give you a look at this. It opens up here. This again came out, in 2022 by Roxx Records, one of the labels that I do copy editing for. And this is a 2 CD. Now the second CD is not additional material. The second CD is simply all of the songs on the first disc, instrumental, all right, no vocals. So if, you can have that maybe as a maybe some background music. So let's look at the inside booklet inside. So inside we have a nice cover, and this again is my friend Scott Waters over at No Life Till Metal doing the graphics on this. And I was not a copy editor for Roxx Records at the time this came out. I signed up with them, started doing work for them probably somewhere in 2023, 2024, maybe at the beginning of 2024, I'm not exactly sure. But it has a nice picture of the band members here. So you see John Greeley's right here. And John Greeley is on here with guitar and vocals. We have Ginger Sizemore on bass. Ginger Sizemore, by the way, is John Greeley's wife. Sean Walker plays the drums on here. And Maya LaJeunesse is the lead guitarist. Some fantastic leads on here. And Marino Stokos does the piano and orchestration on here. So there's the 4 of them there. I don't believe Marinos is pictured there. And it has the lyrics in here, which are basically the lyrics of Revelation. This is not a commentary on the book of Revelation. This is the book of Revelation set to music. So very incredible concept here. And it's, like I said, a massive idea. And I think it comes off very well. Let's talk a little bit about Seventh Servant. And sometimes the seventh is spelled out. But as you can see in the logo there, the seventh there is the 7 and the TH after it. However, on the side it does say seventh angel, or I'm sorry, not seventh angel, seventh servant on the side of it. So this is a band that had put out their first music on a 2-track CDR that came out in 2018. And that had 2 tracks on it. The Revelation of Jesus Christ was one, and the Almighty One was the second song. Those are the first 2 tracks on here. First track called Revelation, just shortened down in title, and the Almighty One, they open up this disc on here. And this is an album, like I said, very, very incredible to take the concept of taking the book of Revelation and setting it to music. So how does it play out? Well, the album, like I said, is a straight right out of the scriptures of Revelation. And the way it is presented is in a heavy metal, almost like progressive element thing. Lots of really good melodies in this. There's a lot of really good changes in the songs. All the songs, by the way, are very lengthy on here. The shortest track on here is the opening track, Revelation, at 4:39, but all the other tracks run 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes long, and then there's the track 7, Open Door, which is 16 minutes long. So that's a really big epic. And then it ends with Dialogismos as a short little instrumental at the very end that kind of closes it out. And this particular album has some really, really good standout tracks on here. One that I really love on here, and there is a video you can check out on YouTube for the song White Stone. This, I think, to me, is my favorite track on the album. Everything comes together good. There are some, the vocals on this, because of the content manner, I guess, the vocals on it are more kind of like, they're not as varied as you might expect, because it's basically singing the lyrics of the words of Revelation. So there's not quite as much vocal variation in there, and that might be a problem for some people, but it seems to work in there. I mean, there's enough variation in the vocals there, but it's not. It's more like the vocals are serving the Bible verses, and being subservient to the Word of God with vocals that are just kind of like straight ahead. However, in White Stone, there's a little bit more variation in the vocals, and I think it really works better. The melodies on here are really strong. And then there is also a guest appearance on another one of the highlights on this album called Jezebel. Jezebel features Tim Ripper Owens. He sings on that song, and of course, Owens is known for being the person that replaced Rob Halford in Judas Priest for a time in 1996. He did 2 albums with Judas Priest as vocalist that were released with him singing the vocals on it. Jugular was one in 1997, and Demolition was the second one in 2001. He was also on 2 live albums with Judas Priest. The first one being Live Meltdown, 98 Live Meltdown, and Live in London in 2003. And Owens also was a member of Iced Earth from 2003 to 2007, and he appears on 2 of their albums as well. So, and his appearance on here also gives another vocal variation really strong on this song, Jezebel. And again, what is the content? Well, if you open it up, it kind of opens up with this song, Revelation of Jesus Christ, kind of an intro one, the Almighty one, also kind of an intro one. And then it gets into the different tracks that will address the churches, the 7 churches. So Tree of Life begins with the church of Ephesus. White Throne deals with the church in Pergamos. And in Jezebel, it's the church of Thyatira. And also, let's see, I think there's a, that was Thyatira. And then Open Door is the church of Sardis. And let me see, I think there's 3 of them in here. The church of Sardis. Let me see if I can catch here in the lyrics here. I know Laodicea is in here too. Yeah, the church of Laodicea is in here. And I think, Philadelphia is the other one too. So it's Sardis, Philadelphia, Laodicea. All 3 of them are covered in Open Door, which gets its name at the very beginning, at the very end of the lyrics. It says, "Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come into him and dine with him. Dine with him and he with me." And then at the ends, fittingly, it ends, "He who has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the churches." And again, brilliant concept, brilliant music. The one criticism I have of this album is its production, mixing, and mastering. Not so much the production. I think it's more in the area of the mixing and the mastering. I'm not a fan of how they mixed and mastered it. They have the drums and the bass so loud in the mix that they almost cause distortion if you're listening on certain systems. So I took this CD, I loaded it into my computer, into the iTunes music program, and it's unlistenable. When you listen to it, it's like the music is shaking. It's very distorted. On my separate component system and in my car, it sounds good. You don't notice that so much, but the drums and the bass are so loud in the mix that the drums to me don't sound like an organic drum set. They almost sound like electronic drums because they're just loud. And they're just so beefed up, and the bass way up high. The bass is so loud in the mix that I feel like the bass loses its originality, not its originality, but its you can't comprehend is the word I'm looking for, the bass lines the way you should in a properly mixed and mastered thing. So unfortunately, that's the only thing I think is a detractor to this particular album, is that I wish Rob Caldwell, who is the mastering engineer for Rox Records, had done it, had mastered it. I think it would have sounded much better. That's my personal opinion. And that's my opinion. Maybe other people say, no, I like it the way it is. It is definitely a sonic force and loud. And, you know, and I know John Greeley has mentioned that I think he likes that heavy guitar Metallica type sound in there. So that's one of the things I think gets lost a little bit in this mix, is the guitars are not as upfront, and some of the piano orchestrations are there, but they're kind of almost like you can't fully get them the way you should in there. So that's the only thing I have as a criticism. I would have liked a better production, and I hope when they come out with this, I believe they may be doing a continuation of the Book of Revelation, and to do the rest of it. This is only part of the Book of Revelation, and I really hope they do, and I really hope that whoever mixes and masters it the next time can solve those problems here. But don't let that deter you. This is a great album. Like I said, I'm so thankful to Kent over at Area 312 Metal and Rock Vodcast, along with his partner Rex. And I think I said Kent at the beginning. If I said Rex, they're both on the show. But it was Kent specifically that came to me and contacted me via Facebook Messenger, talking about what I thought about this album. And I'm really glad he did, because I really did not give it enough listens. For me, I got to listen to something 5, 6, 7, 8 times before I can make a decision on it. And something of this epic proportion is something that you need multiple listens to. It's really complex music, and it really deserves a lot more listens to it. So that's my summation of the album. This, I believe, is still readily available at Rox Productions website. You can get it there, and I would highly recommend picking this up. Like I said, don't let what I said about the production deter you. It does sound good. Like I said, on my stereo component system and in the car, it sounds good. But it may, depending on what you're listening to it, you might experience, like I said, when I put it into my iTunes player on my computer. Now, of course, my computer is not going to be top of the line speakers in it, but it's unlistenable. Because it just distorts everything. So again, it depends on what you're listening to it on, but don't let that deter you from getting this great album. I'm really looking forward to more music from John Greeley. These are just wonderfully crafted songs that take a very complex book. You know, one of the books that everyone says is very difficult to understand, the Book of Revelation. Although the Book of Revelation is supposed to be a revelation, an unveiling, the Book of Revelation obviously is not interpretable without knowing other parts of the Scripture, because everything that's mentioned in Revelation mentioned in other parts of the Old Testament. So it's kind of like you have to open up a bunch of keys to understand the Book of Revelation. And of course, there's a lot of people that have had a lot of difficulty with it. So I think it's an amazing album, an amazing concept, and I really hope that you check it out. So that's my current spin this week, and I hope you will join me when I do these episodes where I look at what I'm listening to currently. So again, Seventh Servant, The Tree of Life, Rox Records. I highly encourage you to pick it up, and I ask also if you could please like the video and subscribe so you get further content that I'm going to be adding in. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, follow the light which shines out of the darkness. God bless everyone. I'll see you.